Well, it's part 4 of the Cooperative Games series, and today we're going to talk about one that's very difficult to find a good one of. We're going to be talking about semi-cooperative games.
Well, first, guys, let's define what semi-cooperative is, because I don't think that's really a category. I think we kind of made it up, or it's not that
It's a
popular
category.
No, it's a category.
It's a category, Steve.
All right. Anyway.
Just because you don't look at board games doesn't mean...
I've heard the term used many times.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people confused when somebody says semi-cooperative. So
That is absolutely correct, though. There's many definitions of this that I don't agree with.
I've had people explain games to me, and I've said, "Oh, so it's a semi-co-op," and they just look at me like I'm crazy. And what is that?
So you're saying that people don't know what it is.
Well,
but I think we're all over the place.
Yeah,
So Steve, why
I
don't
know.
you explain what your definition of it is, and I'll tell you why you're wrong, and we'll continue on.
So I think a semi-cooperative game is a game where everybody at the table has some sort of common goal, but at the same time, they're not necessarily liking each other or working with each other. And this could be something like, you have to keep your spaceship from blowing up. Meanwhile, you're trying to loot the most loot from it because you're, going to abandon ship soon. So there's a goal. You lose. If your ship blows up, everybody loses. You're all a bunch of losers. But you want to be, just helpful enough so you don't blow up, but still win.
The best non-loser.
That's exactly right. That's how I feel about it. It's essentially a semi-cooperative game to me is a competitive game where you must cooperate every now and then or everybody loses. That's period what it is.
Yeah.
Now, when I said earlier that there's a lot of people that are wrong, I did a Google for semi-cooperative games. And what returned was a bunch of stuff that isn't semi-cooperative, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying that Hidden Traders is a semi-cooperative game. That's not semi-cooperative.
No, it's
To me, that's a hidden trader,
game.
right?
Yeah.
Because I feel as though that semi-cooperative must be competitive. Everybody's working against each other, except when they have to work together.
Yep, I agree.
That's very important to this definition for me.
That is my definition of a semi-co-op. It's you are competing against each other, but there's some mechanic that you all occasionally have to work together towards. And it usually ends up being someone going, "Not my problem.
Right,
You
exactly.
guys deal with it." And
Well, mark this on the calendar. We all have the same idea.
Well, now my thing with semi-cooperative games is it's almost impossible to find one that's good. And even the ones that we would consider good are just okay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's very, very, very few of them that work because it's a delicate balance, right? Like you have to make it a good, solid, competitive game, but then you have to put in the cooperative aspects of it so that people are forced to cooperate with each other, because sometimes like you said, they'll just be like, never mind about it, and then it gets by and it's never a problem anyway. There's just a delicate balance there in the game design that very rarely happens.
yeah, and the primary problem is that typically the piece that people have to cooperate on just comes across as being like put in there.
Tacked on.
Yeah, it's just tacked on to give the game something else.
Yeah, right.
But really, like it's a cooperative game that has this piece of junk tacked onto it that no one really wants anyways.
May as well have been a competitive game and be done with it,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So I think when games do it well though, semi-co-ops can be great because I like the interaction sometimes between people trying to convince somebody else to pay for something because I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah, right. It's wheeling and dealing, right?
Yeah.
Like one of our favorite things to do in games is negotiation, wheeling and dealing, well, maybe I'm speaking for myself, but I like to get other people to do things for me in some
Trust me,
capacity.
I know. No one
I love
ever
that.
listens to me.
Yep.
I love it. That's so much fun. I love to try to convince people of certain things, and semi-cooperative games really have that aspect to them. As a matter of fact, the one that I picked for my recommendation, you can't really do that. You just got to do what you got to do. Well, I'll get to that, but I just love the negotiation factors of most of these semi-co-ops.
Well, hopefully, we've managed to find 3 that are good.
Hopefully.
I think we did.
Yeah, I think so
we
too.
did.
All right, well, Chris, go ahead. What is your semi-cooperative game recommendation?
All right, so my first semi-co-op is not only semi-co-op, but it has a lot of other mechanics that I really dig in a game, and I love playing this game. And this game is Archipelago. It's a game where you're coming in and colonizing an island. There are no evil spirits there, so you don't have to worry about getting chased away. But there are natives who get grumpy. And they'll have an uprising, which is the semi-co-op aspect. You can't let that happen. So in order to do that, certain challenges will come up where you have to pay goods to meet them. And if collectively you don't pay enough goods, the natives get restless. And if they get to the top, then everybody loses.
Right.
But it also has exploration, tile placement, building, territory control, trading, all kinds of cool stuff. And variable winning conditions too.
Right.
So every player has a different scoring condition. So not only is it semi-co-op, but it has a ton of other cool stuff in it. And I believe it is even to the point where there is a winning condition in there where you win if the natives have an uprising.
Yeah, there is a trader mechanic.
And we scrapped that card.
Yeah,
because we didn't like it.
The reason I never threw it in was because there was always a new player, and the game just doesn't work if the new player gets that card. Right?
Yeah.
So I always kind of scrap it out. But I think the game is very good. I think like Battlestar Galactica we talked about last time, it needs a second edition with a bit of tweaking because the game itself is awesome. The exploration is great. The buildings is great. Settlements, the way workers, like you put workers around in the different places and they generate you resources. And then that semi-co-op aspects are terrific. All of that stuff's great. And actually my very favorite part of it is the winning conditions because everybody gets dealt a winning condition. And that's also an end game condition. So everybody is beholden to this same point score condition. But you don't know what it is until the end of the game.
But
so
you
got to try to work.
Guess.
Right, yeah. Because you see what they're working towards, and you got to try to work towards it too, because it might be the winning condition. Terrific. Other than that, though, it is one of those games that we like to call fragile, where sometimes you're going to have a bummer of a game.
Where it just drags on. Those are the ones I hate.
Or it could be, you could lose in like 2 rounds, and then you have to reset it up and start again because the natives rose up.
Yeah.
So Archipelago is a fun game, a game I enjoy playing, but a couple of things can be annoying with it. First off, sometimes you get tiles that don't really fit anywhere because you've already designed your archipelago out and there's not a whole lot of room it can go and it might just be a weird tile.
You explore a tile and then you lost a turn because you couldn't place it.
I'm looking at you, volcano tile. Now, the other thing that's kind of annoying too, for me anyway, because I'm more of a confrontational gamer, is that you find this sweet, juicy island. You're all set up. It's a tropical paradise. And Chris's trashy purple people come over. And you can't get them off of that island. They're like freaking stuck there. Well, other than that, it's an awesome game.
That's right. We dig in.
Yeah, I just think it needs a second edition.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But it is a good game otherwise. I like it. My pick is a game that I think it came out last year, and I believe that it's going to be on shelves this year because it was a Kickstarter, and it's called Crisis. Let me tell you, this by far is the best semi-cooperative game I've ever played because the balance is just right on target. What this game is, it's a business building style game. It's worker placement, and it's in a cyberpunk world, like just near future with newer technology and stuff. But the thing is that the economy is crashing, and if the economy crashes to the bottom, everybody loses. So you got to keep the economy up. So basically you're building, you're buying businesses, you're building factories, you're manning those factories with all the different kinds of employees that make it work. Then you're reaping the benefits from that. There's all sorts of different stuff like that. But the way the semi-cooperative stuff works is that every round of the game, everybody needs to score a certain amount of points or higher, or the economy is going to be reduced by that number of points. So as a matter of fact, it kind of sometimes makes people playing poorly feel bad because they're the ones tanking the economy, right? So if you don't play well to get a bunch of points, you fall like say 5 points below that threshold, the economy goes down 5. If like every player can't meet that threshold, it goes way down and goes to the bottom. So here's what's good about it. You have to work together to make that happen. Sometimes you need to work together like, oh, you need to buy that because it's going to raise this score and it's going to raise this up and make this thing happen. but you're still competing to make the best businesses, score the most points, you're competing against the workers because there's a certain workers that are tough to get, like bankers are hard to get. So you're racing to get those instead of letting the other people get them. So there's tons of competition in the game, but the semi-cooperative nature of it is just on point. Crisis, man. Wish you love this game.
I want to play it now after hearing about it.
That's a great pick, and you can't go wrong with Cyberpunk because that's just a fun, world to be in. You don't know what's happening. Things are cybernetic. It's awesome.
Yes. That is
by definition,
true,
that is true. What I think is cool about what you described to me is not just like many other semi-co-ops where you're kind of competing against the game to not let the game win. In this one, it sounds like you're almost pushed to help other players.
A little bit sometimes.
Instead of just like, okay, I can't do this action because I need to not let the game win. In this one, you're like, okay, we got to get Jamie in gear because he's slacking and not getting enough points here. So everybody help Jamie out, but not too much. Not too much.
True story.
Rotten, Steve. All right, let's tell me what yours is, Steve. This is going to be rich.
I'm sure it is. So I was having some trouble coming up with a semi-co-op that I liked a lot. So I landed on Dead of Winter. Now, this game can be played with a trader. If you do that, it's not a semi-co-op. It's a one versus many. And
it's both, I think, still, right? Because like you're still doing the semi-cooperative, your own specific goals while the regular co-op, but then there's a trader in it.
It's like a hybrid almost.
Traders can be in a semi-co-op. That doesn't stop it from being a semi-co-op, but it doesn't make it a semi-co-op.
I'm just surprised Chris didn't pick Battlestar Galactica.
That is definitely not a co-op game.
Every single game.
Oh, come on.
Every single video we do is going to Battlestar Galactica to be on it.
I like it. I had to put it in there.
So anyway, in Dead of Winter, you are survivors in an apocalypse, and there's zombies coming at you, and for some reason you're in the Arctic or something. It's really cold out. So you've got to get food. Now, you can't grow food. It's too cold. You got to get food. You got to get supplies. You got to survive. The zombies are trying to get you. They're trying to break in where you are. And you have to stay alive and keep everybody alive and win the game. But the reason I picked this as a semi-co-op is because everybody has personal objectives. So my objective could be get 2 books, right? So the zombies are coming through the walls and the windows, and everybody else on my team is fending them off, and I'm looking for books because I want to win the game too, y'all.
I thought you were going to say they need books to fight off the zombies, and you're like, I don't have any books. Sorry. Because you're sitting on a stack of them.
So this is like,
that's what I always feel like when I'm playing that game.
This is a weird one because it's like a reverse semi-co-op. In the respect that usually I said it's a competitive game that you're trying to, every now and then you're forced to cooperate. In this one, it's a cooperative game where every now and then you're forced to not do the best thing for the group. So I guess technically I'm going to allow it, but it is a reverse.
So here's the deal, though. If everybody wins and you didn't have your objective completed, you don't win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's no cooperative win. There's a cooperative loss, but that doesn't mean you're going to win. So it's a semi-co-op.
Yeah, you win, but everybody else wins. You lose, but everybody else wins.
Right.
Yeah. So there is sometimes situations where you can be like, "Hey, give me that book because I need that book because I'm a bookophile, a bibliophile.
I'm a librarian. I have decided that the world needs more libraries. So
That's great.
I'll allow it, Steve. It isn't at least you didn't put it on there because of the hidden trader. Then I would have been upset.
I think it's a perfectly fine pick for a semi-co-op.
It is a good pick.
I want to play it again. It's been a while since I played. I didn't really like it the first time. Maybe I was just in a grumpy mood or something. I don't know. So I want to try it again because everybody seems to love this. I mean, we get so much flack for not liking Dead of Winter.
I know. And I'm the same way. Because whenever it comes up, I'm like, because I just didn't really dig it in the first times we played it. But I do evolve over time. I change my tastes in what I like about games and certain games like that. And we should try it again. We should try it again. I might like it. Who knows? Go back to it.
I'm glad you two youngsters approve of my opinion.
We always approve.
Sorry, Steve. Not your jokes, your opinion. That's fine.
That's true.
I'll take what I can get.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for joining us for our Cooperative Games series. We hope to see you next time. And until then, have a good one, everybody.
See you guys.
Secret Cabal out.
Thanks so much, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please do us a giant favor by subscribing to the channel and clicking that wacky bell icon. If you're into board games, miniatures games, role-playing games, we have a bunch of audio podcasts you might enjoy. You can find those at thesecretcabal.com or on iTunes and Stitcher.